Alright folks, we're going to today show how to make a rustic cooler. You probably have seen those posted all over the internet. And there are 1,000 ways to make it. I'm not saying this way is the easiest. It just all depends on what you want to do. But I just want to kind of take you through the process and show you how things are done. You can see here we have just a normal cooler. And it's been raining here today, so we'll have to clean that one up a little bit for you. Actually get inside. We have our pallets that we're going to use, and we're going to show different components of how to put this together. Obviously I can't film everything. I can't hold the camera and cut and nail at the same time, but I'll do my best to explain how this really works. And if you so desire, you can build one of these yourselves easily within a day, depending on what kind of finish you want to put on. If you want to stain it, you want to just leave it natural, let it gray. That's totally up to you if you want to add some little extras to it. Here again, the possibilities are endless. It just all depends on what you want to do with it and how you want it to look when you're finished. So this is what we're starting off with. It will take about 3 pallets to do a complete cooler, and we're going to run through the steps to show you what we need to do. Okay, just a quick run inside to let you know, these are the pieces that I've cut out for the legs. I've already taken them apart from the pallet themselves. It will take 2 pieces to make 1 leg, so obviously we got to have 4 different sets. And then we're also going to need a few extra pieces to make these solid legs. And that's one of the things that I do different than a lot of people don't. Obviously it's not actually solid, but it looks solid because we're going to put wheels on the end of this, little casters, so that you can actually roll it around. So when I cut out my pieces for my legs, I want to cut about at least 3 more of this same width, so that I'll have something to measure and cut from to fill in, and that way it will give us the appearance of having a solid leg, and that's the look that I'm going for. Alright, I'm back. Just to let you know, basically we have 3 basic components that we're going to be using. We have the longer pieces that we're going to use for our legs. We have the longer pieces here that are going to be used for the front and back, and then the shorter pieces, they're going to be used for the sides. And we're going to go through this step by step, and just to show you kind of where we're headed, I have one that is ready to start working on. It's already been basically put together, but it is ready to start making the final touches. And that's what it's going to look like. Okay, right there. So you can see there on the bottom, if you just look right there, those legs are not finished yet, and we're going to get into that, how we're going to finish that up, and then put casters on the bottom down here, and then we'll add some decorative pieces up here at the top, also at the bottom, and then make a shelf that runs all the way around this cooler here. So this is what we're shooting for on the next one that we're trying to put together, and I'll be back with you shortly to show you how that's done. Alright, I'm back, and just a couple things I wanted to point out before we actually get to the assembly part. If you'll notice on a lot of my boards, the nail head is still in there, and I want that to be in there. Now, here again, this is totally a personal preference, but my customers that I sell these to, that's what they prefer, and I just think it gives it a nice look. We have the nail head here. We have the knot, another knot here, and these particular coolers that I'm building tonight are going to be stained, and so that's going to bring all that out, and it's going to look fantastic. Now, if you want to go through the trouble, you can punch the nails out. You just drive them out with a nail piece and pull them out. But I think you're making a mistake by not leaving these in, because it just really adds to the feature. Remember, what we're building is a rustic cooler. We're not building a work of art here. And one of the other things too, which I'm fixing to get into, is the building of the legs. which is the very first step that we do. This is what we're going to be looking at. Let's just say, I haven't decided yet, but let's just say this is going to be the front of our cooler here. We don't want to have an edge like this. Okay, we want to have an edge like this so that all you see is this piece here. So that's one of the things that we want to make sure that we check for, and also making sure that we check that on all sides we have the top portion of the pallet, which can easily be distinguished with the nail heads, and not the back side where the nails have actually been cut away from the pallet. We don't want to see that. We want to be able to see this part. Is it rough? Yes, it is. Will it be sanded? Yes, it will. But we're not going to drive it down to where it's really smooth, because here again, that's defeating the purpose of what we're looking for. So just keep in mind that you want these rough edges, so to speak, to be on the outside, not this part. Even though it may look better somewhat, actually this is a part that you don't want to be on the outside. And one other thing too to keep in mind, and I'll try to get into this a little bit later, when you stain a pallet, I don't care if you use the lightest stain out there, because pallets are made of all kinds of different woods, it's going to come out dark, okay? So you might as well just be ready for that. Unless you just put a clear finish on it, it's going to be dark. Now you can make it darker, but really making it lighter is something that I haven't been able to do. Now you can paint these, which I've seen, which looked great, or stained, which is the most popular version that I run into here in the South. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go out. All this is going to be put together just with nails, a pneumatic nail gun, and glue. Lots of glue, lots of nails. By the time this cooler is finished, like this one here, not finished like this one here, because we got a lot more work to do on it, but this particular cooler will weigh about 85 pounds, because this is solid wood. I want you to notice the thickness here, because that's what I'm looking for, at least for my legs. For the sides, side pieces, it doesn't matter as much, but for the legs, I want a thicker piece, because obviously it's got to hold up a lot of weight there. So that's what I'm looking for on these, on the leg parts. And so I'm going to go out. I've cut the legs. My height is 32 inches, so I've cut each one of these to 32 inches, and then I'm going to go out and assemble those, and then I'll show you what they look like when I get back. Okay, I'm back, and I just wanted to show you something real quick here. With a pallet, you're going to get all kinds of wood and all kinds of edges and stuff like that, and a lot of people may want to throw this piece away because it's, you know, it's kind of wonky on the edges, but that's a mistake. With these pallets, you want to use every little bit that you can, so we don't ever throw anything away. I had a piece, the sister to this piece, that looked the same way. What I did was ran it through my table saw, and now I have a perfectly good piece that I can use that is cut to the right length. So I just want to take that quick moment and let you know, don't throw pieces away just because they may look bad to start with. You can always fix them up so that you do have a usable piece, and we're going to trim this one down so that we have a piece that we'll be able to use. Alright, see you in a little bit. Alright, we're back, and I've cut out several pieces of different lengths. Whether or not I have enough, I won't know actually until I start putting them together. But just want to kind of give you a quick update and show you. Here again, this is personal preference. If you want to do something different, that is totally up to you. What I'm doing makes it no harder, no simpler. You know, it's just a personal preference. But as you can see, these are the back sides of the pieces of pallets. And here again, what I'm looking for is at least 18 inches, okay? And we're a little bit over that, so we are good with this piece. So what I'm going to do simply is I'm going to take these pieces up and I'm going to put glue down, and then I'm going to nail each one, making sure that the sides are pushed flush best as we can. What I found is I nail the first one in here on both ends, and then I pull these towards that one to make a tight fit, and then nail those down. Now, one of the things that I did want to show you, let me just move these out of the way real quick, is very important that when you stand this piece up, and of course you just imagine that it's got pallets of pieces attached to it, this is what you see, not this. Okay, you don't want to see that. You want to see this. Alright, notice that it's almost flush at the top, it's flush at the bottom. Here again, this is a rustic cooler, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So don't worry about that part about, like where we have parts here. Those aren't even going to be seen by the time that we're through. And then we're going to still do some sanding. So this is what I do out of my workbench. I lay it out and I put my first piece down, and I get it set into place on one side, and then I line it up on the other side. The main thing that I want from this piece is to be flush at the top, okay? And that's this edge right here. I want this to be flush because this is what people are going to see when they open the cooler. So you see that we're flush here, and we're going to be good to go, and we'll just work our way down until we get all the other pieces. One other thing that I'd like to point out, if you noticed, I basically went, sorry about that, basically went with a fat piece, and then a short piece, and then another fat piece and a short piece. Here again, personal preference, because this is what I'm looking for right here. Okay, I want some variety. I don't want to just have all fat pieces or all skinny pieces. I want to either alternate them, put a couple of fat pieces together, put a skinny one on the top. You know, here again, we're playing around with it because we're going to still be adding some decorative trim to this. So we just don't want it to be all one shape or all one look. That just takes away from the uniqueness of the cooler. Like I said before, each of the coolers that I make is totally different from the look standpoint. Now, just first glance of it, you say, well, that's the same thing, but no two are going to have pieces like this together. I got nail holes over here, and then I have nail holes over here. I could put all the nail holes all the way down. So you got a lot of play here that you could do. And that here again is totally up to you. So I'm going to go back outside and see how many of these pieces that I can put together, which will turn into these pieces here. Hopefully I've got enough pallets cut so I can at least get this part of it done. This is the front. The one exactly like it on the back side, and then we'll attach the sides, and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. So let me run outside and nail some of these together. Hopefully I can get 4 of these out of all this wood that I've cut here. The long pieces here. Get 4 fronts and back, or 2 fronts and backs done, so that will give me a total of 3 coolers, and that's what I want to be able to start the other process. So be back shortly. Alright, we have success. I was able to put 4 of these together. I had to cheat just a little bit and get some from already cut up stock to complete one of them, but we've got 4 of these made, which will be the front or the back of the cooler, depending on which way we want to go. Simply have taken our nail gun and nail these in here. Like I said, with glue is one of the most important parts. Here again, we've tried to stagger just a little bit. Here on this one, we have 2 short and 2 long. All these measured out a little bit over 18 inches, so that is great. We still have our rustic look here on the side here, and we're flush at the top, which will come into play shortly. And then we'll be ready to put the sides on. So now I'm going to go out and put the sides together and show you what that's going to look like once we get done. But you know, that's the basic shell of what the cooler is going to sit in, just like this one here. So probably the hardest part of this entire project, obviously, is cutting the pallet apart. And we'll do a separate video, which probably should have been first, but we'll do a separate video on how I have found to be the easiest to put together. Once you get all your pieces cut and get them to the right length and the right width, it's just simply a matter of nailing things together and then putting your cooler inside. Now there's a lot more to it. We've got to hook up the plumbing. We've got to make the top, which and we'll also be removing these handles here. So when we remove these handles, there won't be anything holding this cooler in other than the shell and some supports that we're going to put underneath, which I'll show you later. But you could stand inside this cooler and it's not going to come out of the shell, because that's how tightly fitted that it's made. So like I said, the hardest part of the entire project by far is taking the pallet apart, and that's where most people get discouraged and kind of give up. So we'll do a separate video on how that's done. Here again, it's all over the internet. I'm not reinventing the wheel by any means. I've learned a few tricks here and there, but the basics are always the same. So let me step back outside and start putting the sides on this, and I'll show you a completed shell without a cooler in it, just to let you see what that looks like. So I will be back in just a little bit.